I saw these tie-on pockets on Pinterest a couple months back, and now I've been seeing them a lot, and I just thought they were the cutest thing, and it's something that I need. I love a tie-on pocket, and I just want to show you guys how easy this is, basically, even though I've never done it before and I don't know how easy it's gonna be. Hey there, I'm Christina Amanita, and I love all things thrifty and crafty and naturey, and today we are talking 17th century tie-on pockets. Now, that might not be the exact year. I might have it a little bit off. First, let's get into a little bit of background on the tie-on pocket. Okay, so from my brief research, I found that these tie-on pockets showed up around like 1650, early 1700s, and were around maybe until the 1800s, maybe later. It's up for debate, but around that time, and that these pockets were made after men had already gotten their pockets, you know? Men had gotten their pockets, and women did not have any pockets. So they made themselves some freaking pockets, and they made them so stylishly, so effortlessly, so demurely. So let's talk a little bit more about the construction of these pockets. So it seems that there were a few different common shapes for these pockets. A lot of them are kind of pear-shaped, so they kind of taper at the top, they come out at the bottom, and then it's just a matter of like roundness versus more kind of triangularness. So there seems to be a little bit of a range, and also in size. Apparently, they would be some up to like 40 centimeters, so you could hold a lot of stuff in there. And just for note, I will be wearing this, of course, over my clothes as like a fashion piece, as a pretty thing. And not that they didn't do that, but a lot of women wore these underneath their, is it the petticoat? Is that the structure? So those ones weren't visible, so they could be, you know, as big as you wanted, basically. And so often they were made out of linen, but, you know, other things, there could be cotton, and even some were made out of like leather and other things like that. So a pretty wide range of designs, of shapes, of sizes, and of materials. But what was in these darn pockets? Why did these ladies need pockets? They're just ladies, right? I mean, the men, they need pockets. It makes sense. But like, what were these ladies gonna put in their pockets? Let's find out. So again, this is according to like my limited research, but I did try to go for like museum websites so that hopefully this was a little bit more historically accurate and based in research. Hopefully. I will link the museum websites below. But let's just look at a few of the things that these strong, independent women of the 1700s would be carrying around in their tie-on pockets. So definitely keys, so keys to like different things in the home, and a lot of women carry around like little locked boxes, little lock boxes in their pockets, small tools like pencils and knives, also like sewing kits and scissors, which I think is so cool. Maybe I'll have one dedicated to just a little sewing kit that I can wear wherever I go. Other things like combs and perfume, and then maybe even watches. So just like basically what we put in our purses today, like things we need. It feels pretty relatable. I'm feeling relating to the 17th or 18th century ladies in this fashion. So now that we know where it came from, what it was made out of, and what we're gonna do with it, let us draft a pattern to make ourselves a tie-on. Let's do it. Yay, we're finally getting into the crafting part. I love research, but let's craft. So clearly you can see that my space is an absolute mess, so this is a fun little side quest that I did not want to miss out an opportunity for. So we're gonna start by some doodling. Let's just doodle a couple different shapes and see which one we kind of like the best for our little pocket. So I just wanted to share what I noted. So some of the pockets had the slip, or the hole, the pocket hole, up to the top. So it was open all the way at the top. And some of them it was closed at the top and the slip was just kind of below it. So it was like a pocket inside of the slip instead of having an opening at the top. So I'm not gonna worry too much about that just yet. I think first I'm gonna make the actual pattern piece and kind of draft it up, get it nice and pretty and see if I can find a size and a shape that is good, and then we'll think about the opening afterwards because I don't think it'll affect the shape. Let's draft up the pattern and then we'll figure out our fabric. Indeed. So I have my pocket pretty much, and I was just picking out my fabrics, and since it's my first one, I want to use kind of a mock-up-y fabric, so I'm going to use this old pillowcase that has some nice flowers on it. We're going to keep it simple because it's the first one, and I just want to show you guys how easy this is, basically, even though I've never done it before and I don't know how easy it's going to be. So if you want to see me do another one, in my spring accessories video, let me know down in the comments and I will try to make another one and actually do some embroidery on it. So for now, we're gonna use this pillowcase, and then I was thinking about this pocket thing with the slit, and I think I'm just gonna do it all the way up to the top and then enclose the top with the bias binding. I think that's the easiest way to do it. So you'll see how I do it, hopefully in that step, but for now, let's just cut out our fabric and sew it together. Easy peasy. Okay, this is the part that I was most afraid of, is cutting the slit part, but we're just gonna do it. So I think this side is the prettier side of the fabric, so this will be our front. So I'm gonna go, let's see, my hand is about 4 inches, so maybe we'll make a 5-inch slit. 5-inch slit. Hopefully we'll have a nice straight line. Okay, so we'll find the middle. Perfect. Our opening is already perfectly 3 inches, so we'll go right in the middle of 1.5. All right, that's gonna be a tight squeeze. We're gonna give it 1 more inch. So we're making a approximately 6-inch opening. And I think that leaves enough. Here's our opening ends here. So I think that leaves enough bottom. Does my hand fit in this hole? I think it does. We're gonna give it just a tiny bit more. All right, let's figure out the binding part. All right, so I'm just figuring out like which parts of the binding should be connected, but I think I'm just gonna go around the slit as one piece of binding, and then separately I'll do one across the top because that's gonna close this top and then become the ribbon as well. And then some have binding all the way around the edge. I'm not sure if we need that on this, but we'll see if we get there. So let's just start with the binding in the slit. So I think I can do better on the next time around with this part. Perhaps next time I will sew this on before sewing these two pieces together so that I can get a better angle on it. I think that would help. But also, I think it looks good enough. So it is time to close this pocket at the top. Yeah, I think I'll be able to fit my hand. To close it at the top, and I think while we close it, we'll make the ribbon. So we'll just use this same bias tape. So we'll sew it together over the top, and then once we're off the top, we'll just sew it like in half to make the ribbon. And I think that might be it. I don't think this actually needs the binding around the outside, especially because it's such light fabric. I think it would make it a little heavy to do that. So let's add the ribbon. Okay, so it's about 50 to 60 inches long is what I ended up with here. And it might be too long, but it's better to go over than under. So I'm gonna iron this whole thing in half first so it's nice and easy and clean, and then sew her down. Done! That was a nice quick afternoon side quest. Here she is. I think it's so cute. I think the colors work really well, and now all that's left to do is to pop it on and see what we can put in this little bucket. What do we got? A little tape measure and some scissors. I also tend to carry around like little rocks and stuff. Sometimes I start with them, sometimes I pick them up on my journeys. All right, let me know what else you think I should put in my pocket. Sweet. Okay, so let's chat about things I might do differently on the next one. This was such a fun little side quest project. It only took me maybe like an hour total to do the whole thing, drafting and all. And I'm just thinking it's so cute. It fits a good amount of stuff. And I like it. So things that I will do differently in the next one. So hopefully this will help you out with making yours. I would use a different ribbon because this one is just not that like luxurious feeling on my skin. So I might use like an actual ribbon next time, so it feels a little softer on my skin, especially if it's going to be like under my shirt. I already mentioned I'm going to do the binding a little bit differently next time, just in a different order. I think that would help. And then I think I will bind the outside next time to give it a little bit more structure, and use maybe a thicker fabric. This fabric was pretty thin, which I knew going into it because this is kind of more of a toile than a final. So I think maybe even making it bigger, I think it could be a good bit bigger, at least the bottom, like maybe extending the bottom a little bit, because I think the pocket is just the right amount of size to get my hand in, and we could use maybe just a little bit more. So there we have it, my very first 17th, 18th century tie-on pocket. If you'd like to see me make another one of these in my spring accessories video, let me know down in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful week. Bye!